Hi, my name is Sarah Brockwell, and I'm an MAT student at UAM. And this is a little presentation about who I am, and it's for my educational psychology class with Dr. Baldwin. So a little about myself. This is my family. My husband, Jonathan, we've been married for 19 years. With my 3 boys, this was a photo taken last Thanksgiving in Bentonville with my dad. But my 3 boys, they're 19, 14, and 10. And then, of course, with all the boys in the house, kind of had to have a little peace and some sanity. So, had to get my baby girl, my little chihuahua. Her name is Maisie. And she's just precious. I love her to death. So the only way I can get my baby girl in my family was to have one furry and with paws. But I love her just the same. So here is some photos from my graduation day. I graduated in May of 2017, University of Arkansas at Monticello. And I obtained a Bachelor's of Science in Teaching and Learning. And I'm very proud that after all these years I was able to go back and get my degree and to actually really know what I wanted to do in life. Interesting fact about myself, I have a lot of people that still just can't get over. I've been a nurse for 16 years. Graduated from LPN school in 2001 from, at the time, was called Forest Echoes. But now it is they merged with UAM, and it's now the CTC of CrossFit. In the 16 years, I've done different work. I've done doctor's offices, nursing home, even did some sub-nursing at the Hamburg School. Realized then I didn't really want to be, or didn't really want to do the nursing. I was actually an AmeriCorps worker, and I knew I wanted to get into education at that point, but hospice was the bulk of my work and really what I would say was my true identity as a nurse and my life's work. And when I was laid off for low census, I knew that was time for me to do something different, and I feel I was led to do the teaching. And that was the biggest part of hospice, and felt like that was the way I could really connect with people, was providing them with the best education. When you face a lot of unknowns, it can, make or break how you feel about certain things. And so I'm just kind of scaling that down a little bit. Same concept, but maybe not in such a dire situation as a loved one dying, but it's still very important that people know things, and I hope that I'm able to deliver that every day. I'm employed at CrossFit Middle School, and I'm teaching 5th grade science. We're the Mighty Eagles, so I've got a little eagle photo here. But our district does what they call a New Teachers Academy, where we all gather, and the new teachers for the school year, and to provide information and whatnot. But they had the news crew there and happened to catch me a photo in action, and I was on the front page. So I thought that was pretty cool that I wanted to share. So a little welcome to my science class. As a new teacher, my budget isn't as big as I wanted it, but I'm proud of how my room turned out. And I have some photos to show you. I don't have any video, but I do have some photos. So here to the left, Albert Einstein. That's like my main focal point. When you walk in, this is what you see. And it was very difficult to come up with one quote to use. So I decided on this one: you never fail until you stop trying. And I think nowadays it's just so easy. If something's hard, to just give up. And I want my students to know, even at a young age, that, a mistake or a little bump in the road is not the failure. It's when you stop trying. So hopefully it will stick. I've also had some other quotes of his that I found online that had some color to give it a little bit of interesting look to it. And then to the right, this is my prize and my pride and joy here. The test tube chandelier. It was given to me by the UAM science STEM specialist, Carrie Book. She taught high school chemistry and had this lovely hanging in her classroom and felt like it needed a proper home. So I adopted it and I love it, and I get lots of compliments on it. The kids like it too. Another thing that I really like is the light bulbs, especially the really antique-y old looking ones. But I want people to know, or my students to know, to keep shining on, that there are some bright ideas, and maybe I can display some work here around this theme on this wall. And then I have on my door decorated "Think Like a Scientist." I want my students to know when they're in my room they are a scientist. You don't have to have a degree to be a scientist. You don't have to wear a white lab coat to be a scientist. And if you can follow these steps and you're curious about something, then you are a scientist. Here is on the outside of my room. Our overall theme for Crossett Middle School was space exploration. So that's why I have, the space decor. But here's my first bulletin board I made by myself, and that is definitely a chore doing bulletin boards, but it was fun nonetheless. And there's my little boy. He's actually a 5th grade student, so I actually have him in my class. And then my door, I love this quote by Carl Sagan, and somewhere something incredible is waiting to be known, and that is so true. We don't know what is needing to be known. That's what I want my students to be able to figure out, is that one little unknown thing that's still out there that someone doesn't know, and it'll be incredible when it is found. And then just to help kind of cover my door, to keep people from peeping in, I have, I know it's a little blurry, but it says "You matter." So if you're peeping in, there's just your little reminder that, there's a little take on, the whole matter, matter has mass, that kind of a thing. But my students do matter to me, and anybody walking by my door. My future plans for teaching. I definitely feel at home at the middle school. I love this age group. It's a misunderstood age group, and so I want to continue teaching here and with my 5th graders. Now, eventually, I do see myself coming to a university, maybe something as local as UAM. I would love that if I'm still in the area. But I do think there's a deficit with the middle school teachers, and they're being quality teachers. And I hope that if I could become a professor on campus, that maybe I could ignite some passion and a fire for those that, do have the qualities of being a middle school teacher, and take some of the fear about that. Some people think, oh, I don't want that age group. No, I never do that. And I just want to foster that. It's a wonderful age group. It has its trying moments for sure, and 2 weeks in I have found those, but I would like to see UAM have a successful middle school level program. Back to my plans for teaching. After I received this was my confirmation. I had some bell work this past week, and so I asked my students, what do you think a scientist does? Organize your thoughts in a graphic organizer. Now, I will be honest, the organize your thoughts in a graphic organizer was just way over their head, but with a little explanation, they got it, and they really enjoyed this, and I got some great replies. But I'm this answer was just spoke to me so deeply, and as simple as it is so profound. You know, what do you think a scientist does? They do the impossible. You know, a 5th grader, a 10-year-old, you know, had this idea and this thought, and that's my purpose, is to take this thinking and turn it into something even greater. And it excites me that I have students thinking like this. I think this is well above what I would have originally thought a 10-year-old would be capable of thinking of. And I did want to share with you a little quote that I had did up. This was actually a slide in a PowerPoint that I made for my back to school. And I want my students to know, you know, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. I want to create an atmosphere to where mistakes aren't laughed at, you know, that they were respected and viewed as an attempt and a learning opportunity. Sometimes I get a little mixed feelings about the whole word mistake in itself, because sometimes things aren't a mistake, it's just a learning opportunity. It's a learning opportunity to do it better. Maybe it's not wrong, but there's always a better way to do things. So, and this is what I want my students to know every time they come here, that I expect a mistake, but it's how they react to it and push through it is what means the most. And hopefully I'll continue to get some of this exceptional work that I'm already seeing from some of my students. My expectations of the MAT program, I'm excited to be a student of this program. I do hope to graduate next spring, and this is just another stepping stone for me. I've always been a lifelong learner. I love to learn. I love being in school. And I do hope that when I get my enough experience in, that I would like to do maybe a doctorate program. But I want to learn as much as I can to be successful in my classroom. I want to shape these young minds, and I want it to be in the best way possible. I want to be that role model. I want to be that positive figure in their life. And I feel like with the education that I've already received, with this additional MAT information, I'm destined to be a successful teacher. So I'm super excited. Now I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie, to get everything done on time, because not only do I have expectations to meet through this MAT program by turning everything in, I also have those same expectations for my job. And I have a wonderful team, wonderful support system between my family and my coworkers, and I'm just excited to be in this journey, and just can't wait to see what the rest of the year has in store for me, because it's already started off great. I can only imagine what else there is for me to see and feel and observe. I just can't wait. So anyway, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about me.